Lightfall released with 3 new exotics. Besides Excalibur, you're part of Season of Defiance. These exotics are Deterministic Chaos, Winterbite, and Final Warning, which in this video I'll be going over how to get them, how they work, and why all these exotics are so fun to use. So let's just get into it right now. Most likely the first one you'll get will be Deterministic Chaos, a void machine gun that has a little gimmick to it, but I'll go over later. I also forgot to record myself doing the quest, so have some somewhat adjacent gameplay and the mission that you do. First, you complete the campaign, go to the Hall of Heroes, then you go talk to Nimbus. After that, you need to collect Cloud Accretions and Cipher Quibbits from Vex. After that, you go to Maya's Retreat to locate the final data packet. You then go to the Radio Salon to meet with Osiris and Nimbus, and they'll talk while you go fetch some water and Doritos because honestly, it's kind of boring and nobody cares. TLDR, you go to the next step. Next step, go complete the Thunderdrome Lost Sector, getting a Vex Compass, then defeat Shadow Legion forces that are not in Calah's ship. Man, I love when I commit genocide for the 9x10 to the 72nd power in Destiny 2. It is so fun! Then you have to go into Calah's ship and go to the room where the radio mast was. Then activate 2 plates, and you get a Seed of Silver Wings. Then you talk to Nimbus and you do what remains mission, and midway through you get Deterministic Chaos. Kill the Conceptual Mind and GG's. Also just leave the mission midway through to get it. Now that gimmick I mentioned, every 4th shot it weakens your target, and every 16th shot it volatiles your target. To keep firing, and just tap fire the gun. Weakened effect is great for making beefy enemies, easier to kill. The volatile effect is also used to make a group of enemies just poof into purple dust, and you can also get some extra damage on bosses and beefy enemies. Also, the gun has ricochet rounds, so do with that how you will. Since it's also a machine gun, and machine guns recently got buffed, is absolutely cracked. With the perks on the gun and the recent buff to the machine gun, this weapon is fun to use as you'll be constantly shooting and killing. The perks of the gun and the recent buff to the machine guns, this weapon is fun to use as you will be constantly shooting and killing enemies. The heavy ammo finder also have more ammo for this, as you'll be dropping. It's definitely one of the most fun and best heavy weapons, as gimmick is really fun. Winterbite is an exotic Stasis heavy glaive, which when you heard the word Stasis glaive, you blew up in excitement like everyone when this was first announced. And I don't know if it's just me, but I was very disappointed in it being a heavy weapon. I thought Bungie dropped the ball when they made it a heavy weapon. Then I went to use it, and my disappointment kind of just despawned. How you get it is by doing the quest where you fix the Cloud Strider memorials until the final one, which will get you an exotic quest. First you get the quest, then you do all the terminal overloads for each area, so this might take like 3 days. After that, you collect data on the Shadow Legion and get a Cipher Quibbit from the Gilded Precept Lost Sector in Hips Park. You then head to Quinn and chat, then you fix the memorial and go kill some Hydras at Maya's Retreat. You also hack some complexes while you're at it. After doing the final one, which also there's a Hydra boss literally called Hydra, you'll talk to Quinn again, and she calls you a smoking hot Earth Warlord. Okay, also, what is with Bungie and blue hologram girls? Can you explain that? After that, you're now a smoking hot warlord with a giant fork, a comically large fork. I love comically large forks. Also, glaives just look so goofy in this game sometimes. So here's what Winterbite does. What it does is if you have ammo in your glaive, you slow down enemies and hit with your melee. Shot when firing the glaive shoots an ice ball that tracks and faces targets. If it hits, it'll also do damage to enemies and impacts, causing them to shatter. This makes it great for clean groups of enemies that are tight packed, as they'll become frozen, and if it hits, well, I guess that's your problem solved. Now when it comes to glaives, they're pretty underrated, I have to say. This one makes the exotic glaives look like a Grey Kvostov, because those are just as good as a Grey Kvostov, but get less use than a Grey Kvostov. I really don't have much to say about Winterbite besides it's how good it is. And honestly, the reason why this glaive is so fun to use is because it just cooks enemies, or pleases them. It's just a good glaive. Also, glaives in general are just fun to use. They really did well with them when they were released during Witch Queen. Okay, Final Warning is a sidearm, which Bungie just said Control-C, Control-V the Titanfall Smart Pistol. Gives a ton of players like PTSD flashbacks.
Protocol 3, protect the pilot.
PT, what are you doing?
Trust.
Get it from getting all the Strand, fragments, and grenades. If you want to do that, then watch this video I've made. It's top right corner on that I button. I suggest watching it after this video. Anyways, once you do that, you get the final Strand quest. First, you go to Nimbus for the quest, then you go to the Veil Containment. Go follow the way you went in the final campaign mission, and there will be a portal. After that, you will approach a group of Cabal tagged with an exotic Ingram marker. Kill them, and then kill a Colossus called Colossus. Bungie very much likes calling enemies by their name. After that, you go to the Typhon Imperator. The bridge will open, and you can just drop down and you'll see a marked enemy. That enemy is a Tormentor, and this guy is real. So don't bring fake guns. This really real fight like I did. I am not that smart. After that, you go to the Puka Pond. You're told to do the Headstrong time trial within less than 5 minutes and 30 seconds, which is, can't do that. I honestly question your skill, but keep on keeping on. Just keep going, man. After that, you get the final warning sidearm. Here's what the final warning does. Holding the trigger, you mark your enemies. If you're hip-firing the gun, the shots will track, or if you're ADSing, your bullets will go faster and have higher critical damage. Also note, bursts have increased stability on release of the trigger, and hitting a marked target with a full burst will unravel them. This will be great for groups of enemies because you can kill one and kill another due to the unravel effect. Now, it isn't too crazy for Destiny 2 having charged sidearms, and final warning is no different, besides, differences. It does what Destiny 2 has done, but with new aspects of Strand, like Unravel, as I said. It is a combination of what has been done, but with new aspects. It is a combination of what has been done and what is new with Destiny 2. That makes it fun because we have the familiarity of what we have seen with Cryosthesia and Devil's Ruin, adding what we've recently obtained in Lightfall. It brings me back to my Titanfall 2, which you should 1000% play, campaign and multiplayer if you download Northstar because the service got wrecked by hackers. The gun though, it just feels great to just lock on a group of enemies, hold down the trigger, and they all scramble as my bullets unravel them from a distance. Now this last part, I'll basically do what I did with each section of each exotic, summarize them, and then explain why they're all fun. Deterministic Chaos is a fun gun because it is a gimmick exotic that is great at what it does, applying debuffs. Now the game is now, you can synergize it with stuff like Nezarec Sin, or have a dude run a collective obligation to leash those buffs. It also does great since it's a machine gun, and overall it's just fun to use. Now, Winterbite is fun because it's just a classic of being an actually good exotic. Like the other exotic glaives, which are all just Winterbite blows them out of not just the water, not just the continent, not out Earth, no, out the universe because the exotic glaives are pretty bad. But state, it's just a great weapon, especially since it can clear rooms by freezing enemies. Last but not least, Final Warning, which combines the older parts of the game with newer parts like Strand and does something completely unique with it too. We haven't seen a gun, well, besides Tiku's, that has tracking. It isn't crazily good, it just makes it fun. Now, my final verdict on why all these guns are fun. Because they're all different from one another. One exotic doesn't feel like one another, which I know is super obvious. Each exotic is like that, besides maybe cool. But each has their own identity. They don't really tread on the same ground for each, besides being heavy weapons. Final Warnings is Strand sidearm and Locke's arm. Deterministic Chaos is a rhythm-based weapon, and Winterbite is the first of its kind that's actually great. None of them tread on what they do, besides them being heavy weapons. Deterministic Chaos and all have their uses and how to use them, and are great at what they do specifically. I know why the Lightfall exotics are the most fun from the explanation I gave them. Even if you didn't really care about the fun part, I also explained how to get them, so everyone got something out of this. If you enjoyed, then watch more videos on screen. Also, this video took me like 2 weeks to make. Does anyone know how to not procrastinate? I need some. Anyways, Toaster out.